Have you ever felt trapped by fears that seem to come from nowhere, shadowing your every step and making even the smallest decision feel like a battle? In my research of Carl Jung's work, I discovered a profound pathway to facing these unconscious fears without being overwhelmed. And today, I want to share the exact wisdom Jung uncovered that can help you reclaim your peace of mind and grow through those very fears. Jung noticed throughout his extensive clinical practice that unconscious fears are not just random anxieties, but messages from deep within our psyche waiting to be understood rather than ignored or blindly feared. He understood the modern struggle intimately because in our fast-paced world, we often flee from what frightens us most instead of facing it, which only intensifies inner tension and separation from our true self. Over decades of studying Jung's casework, I've seen that these fears often stem from parts of ourselves we reject or simply do not know yet. This becomes urgent because without consciously engaging these fears rather than repressing them, our emotional life fragments and we become vulnerable to overwhelming swings of emotion or debilitating avoidance. Jung insists that the unconscious fears hold keys to greater wholeness if we listen correctly. One of Jung's most revolutionary discoveries was that the unconscious speaks in symbols and images rather than direct language. In his famous work The Red Book and Clinical Experiences, you see him guiding patients to engage with their dreams, visions, and even fantasies as carriers of these messages. So instead of confronting your fears as enemies to be instantly defeated, Jung invites you to enter their symbolic realm gently and curiously. This is where the concept of the shadow emerges as central to understanding unconscious fears. I've studied Jung's shadow doctrine extensively, and I have found that it represents the disowned aspects of ourselves, including fears that we judge as weak or unworthy. Facing unconscious fears means recognizing that these fears are parts of our shadow, asking to be integrated, not eliminated. Jung's insight challenges the common notion that we should push fear away or pretend to be fearless. On the contrary, he shows us through his patients' transformations that acknowledging and relating to these fears with openness reduces their power over us. In practical terms, Jung developed the method of active imagination, which I passionately teach as a way to engage with unconscious material safely. This involves entering a meditative or relaxed state and allowing images, feelings, or thoughts related to your fears to arise spontaneously without censorship. You then dialogue with these images either through writing, drawing, or imagining a conversation. I have seen people who were crippled by anxiety learn to face their internal dragons by this very technique, turning terror into a dialogue that reveals what their fear really protects or warns about. Jung also emphasized the necessity of grounding yourself in conscious awareness during this process to avoid overwhelm. This means setting boundaries, such as limiting session time and practicing calling exercises before and after engaging. As a scholar who has immersed in Jung's teachings, I assure you that courage in the Jungian sense is not fearlessness, but the willingness to meet your fears with curiosity and respect. He believed deeply in the human capacity to grow through encountering the shadow, and made it clear that avoiding fears perpetuates fragmentation, but integration through acceptance leads to healing and individuation, the lifelong process of becoming your authentic self. If you apply Jung's approach, you will find that your unconscious fears lose their tyrannical grip and instead become guides, showing you what parts of yourself yearn for attention and transformation. Remember, Jung's fundamental message here is that what we fear in the unconscious often holds the treasure of our true potential, masked in mystery and sometimes darkness. To dive deeper into this crucial journey will transform your experience of fear from a source of helplessness into a powerful ally for psychological growth and self-discovery. Tomorrow, we will explore the fascinating question of how inner conflicts, which are often fueled by these unconscious fears, lead to profound personal transformation with Jung's unparalleled understanding. This is essential viewing if you want to turn struggle into strength in your own life, so don't miss it. If you found this insight valuable, please like this video, share your thoughts or questions in the comments below, and subscribe to join our community dedicated to unlocking Jung's profound psychological wisdom with me every day. I look forward to continuing this journey with you tomorrow as we uncover the transformative power of inner conflict through the lens of Carl Jung.